All right, everyone. I saw this guy today when hearing about critical minerals and mining and whatnot, and apparently there was some sort of thing about China closing off their exports or something like that. And I was told that this stock apparently is a critical minerals company that is outside of China for that scenario. Should it happen? So we'll look at it, and we'll do three things. I always like to look at the latest earnings, the current valuation, and then a few other things to consider. And then, this is kind of my first look ever. I don't know too much about it, so I'm not really trying to be a bear or a bull. I'm just getting as much information as I can, and for the love of the game, to just learn about the stock. So we will start by looking at what the company even is. Specialty materials for electricity and other advanced technologies. The company owns and operates a Mountain Pass rare earth mine in California, so in the United States. So, metals and mining, critical minerals mining, and it's in the United States. So we'll look at its latest earnings here. You can see the revenue growth year over year actually went down slightly, but was up overall for the entire year. So something happened there. A price protection agreement income. What is that all about? What is the price protection agreement income that I see on NP stocks? Latest earnings. This will probably say it too, I bet, if I were to search for this. Yeah. Um, okay, so it's given market prices for our products in the fourth quarter, we recognize price protection agreement income based on the right to receive cash from the DOW for difference between 110 per kilogram benchmark quarterly average volume and weighted price. It sounds like it's like a hedge. It's like a hedging thing. Government guaranteed price subsidy. And that doesn't surprise me because the U.S. government has been very friendly to critical minerals mining. And so that's another boon to this industry. So let's see. So this is probably will be a thing going forward. Cost of sales went down. That's great. G&A up. Some depreciation, and everything else pretty much flat. So we are looking at a operating loss that has greatly decreased, largely because of this price protection agreement, which will likely stay in place. Okay. And then they actually have a net income due to this other income item, which I'm going to bet this has something to do with they have a very healthy balance sheet that has interest that's earning for them. So, but not from operations, but so you can see this company right here is being subsidized by the U.S. government and it has a lot of money. So that is good and it will likely continue. What's the balance sheet? Yeah, holy cow. So this is in thousands. So this right here is $1 billion in cash. And then you got even a lot more in short-term investments. So holy cow, that's a very strong balance sheet. Very strong. And that's where their other income came from. And I want to just check for debt real quick. Negligible. And then they got, how about this? The current portion of long-term debt is negligible, but they do have a lot of long-term debt. It's about half of their cash position. So that is quite a bit. Let's look at the statement of cash flows, because now I'm wondering where their cash came from, if it was debt or whatnot. So, financing activities, proceeds from long-term debt, very minimal, but they did issue a lot of stocks. So you're looking at a lot of dilution in the past. Now, it's not going forward, but in the past. And then some preferred stock. So a lot of their money that you see on that balance sheet was from issuing stock. And then they used a lot of money to buy some short-term investments. So, okay. That is interesting. Let's look at the valuation here real quick. Market cap of 11 billion. So that is a lot. That is a lot. That's a very high market cap, especially for something that, it's profitable, but not because of its industry, but because, of government subsidies pretty much, and then the interest that they're making from the cash they raised from shareholders. And then the shares outstanding is 180 million, which, is not terrible. The lower that number is, the better. But yeah, so pretty high market cap. Let's just look here at this balance sheet real quick. Yeah, so their current assets are 2.17 billion, and a lot of that is their cash, and you got the long-term debt, which is half of that. Worth checking. I want to see if there's any long-term trends I can see here. Very up and down revenue growth. COGS looks like it doubled from this time frame, which is kind of interesting. We could look at that maybe, but and then you're looking at the net profit's been in the negative for a bit. So, okay. I want to see real quick. I want to see what are upcoming catalysts for MP stock. Production ramp, pricing driven by government contracts. Magnet production ramp. Transitioning from mining rare earths to making finished magnets. Oh, from raw product to a finished product. Scaling out from its Fort Worth magnet facility. From full mine oxide mill magnet. Magnets where the real margin expansion is. So it's treating it like a raw materials miner, not a manufacturer. So this is big. You're going to get a big re-rating, and maybe that's partly what the market valuation is right now, is that they're starting to price that in, that it wants to be a manufacturer. Rare earth separation. Oh, look at this. This is commissioning around mid-2026, so that is a catalyst. Critical for defense, high temp magnets. China dominates the segment, so U.S. progress gets heavily rewarded by the market. So this is what I was saying earlier. What kind of caught my attention is, I guess, the catalyst around this is that China is dominating the rare earth sector, and the U.S. wants to get involved into it, which is why you see the government subsidy. They got some production ramping up. And then price protection agreements, which we saw already. Okay. North Lake 10X magnet facility. Large new skilled magnet plant planned around 2028. 10,000 metric tons annual capacity. Okay, so this is another longer term thing. So then my biggest kind of takeaway from this is that they are switching from a miner to a manufacturer. What is the insider and institutional activity in MP stock? Okay, institutions own a lot. And I've been getting out a little bit, but that's a lot. Then there's been some insider selling, but it's pre-planned. So, okay. This one is interesting. I would say kind of my main takeaways from this is that you're buying a kind of critical minerals narrative and a diversification away from China in producing this, and you're getting government grant involvements and whatnot, and then also a raw goods miner turning into a manufacturer. Those are kind of all the plays on this. So while it is important to look at the historical data, and you can see they've diluted a lot of shares and they've raised a lot of cash, and there's a good chance they may need to do more of that to build their mines and, capex and all that, capex and that other sort of stuff. What you're buying is that kind of future net present value of the changing and the type of company that this is. So interesting. Again, this is just kind of my first look at it. So if you know more about it, let me know. I would love to learn more about it, and I will see you guys in the next